It's Bob and Tom Tonight, starring Chick McGee, Christy Lee, Josh Arnold, and Tom Griswold. And now, here's Tom.
Bob and Tom.
Where was I?
Seem hostile.
Welcome back to the Bob and Tom Show. Let's see, that's Josh Arnold.
Hi.
For now.
I was annoying Tom.
In the orangeinsoles.com sidekick chair. Notice it just says sidekick. It could be anybody.
You're right. It doesn't say the judge.
You know how I feel right now? Your son is sitting in that little booth just waiting for one of us to go down.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if it's one of us.
He's just reviewing the Associated Press sports
I
wire.
think he's got his eye on something, I can tell.
Willie is a comedian from Chicago, and he is sitting in with us this week. Thank
Sitting
you.
here polishing off my microphone, making sure it's nice and shiny.
Thank you very much.
Nice.
Let's see now. There's Chick over there. That's Ace Cosby. And, of course, now is the time. If you've been wondering, wow, we haven't heard the Ace Cosby joke of the day yet.
Not even a second wondering.
It's brought to you by the one thing you need to do today, which is go to omahasteaks.com and get that Father's Day gift. And also, we're posting the picture that our friend from Georgia made. Whenever she gets Omaha Steaks, she turns those coolers into really nice storage boxes.
Oh, nice.
With all kinds of knitting and yarn.
That's cool.
Super cool. Yeah, check that out. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, these aren't jokes. These are cultural observations during difficult times with Ace Cosby.
Well, this is about a Spanish magician I saw on TV the other night.
Is that right?
Great set. His closer was, he said, I'm going to make myself disappear on the count of 3. Uno, dos, poof. He disappeared without a trace.
Not a trace. No.
Excellent joke. Wow.
I don't know if that's true.
Yes, my high school Spanish kicked in. I remember that
Uno,
one.
dos, tres.
Uno, dos, tres.
Cuatro.
Got it. That was very good. I really
Is there a
enjoyed that.
better way to... Because he didn't mean on the count of 3.
Well,
That's
you can't
the
say on the
problem.
count of trace because that buries
Right.
the punchline.
Right.
And that buries the punch, so I don't know what...
Are we?
It was clever.
I thought it was
It
very
is clever.
good. It was
Yeah.
clever, yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Your exegesis is
Are we
boring.
diagramming jokes now?
Okay.
Ace's comments, remember?
I could do my new impression.
Please.
Well, you're going to get heckled because you don't like my bogey.
That's because your bogey is the same as your Jimmy Stewart.
That's not true. This is my Jimmy Stewart, and this is my bogey.
This is my rifle. This is my gun.
The Jimmy Stewart is very good.
This is for fighting. This is for fun.
Now, Josh, you do a Marlon Brando.
Oh, that's it. That's right. Yes.
I'm going to give this to you then. I am going to give this to you. Josh, hang on a second. I'm going to write this down.
Yes, go ahead.
Marlon, how are you?
Hi, good
He's
to see
going in. He's
you. You guys
going.
are out of bagels.
Tom is going into full-on puppet mode right now.
Okay. No,
You're out of
I'm going to
bagels.
set this up in a second for you. Mark, could you come in here and hand this script, which is 3 words? Could you? That first letter is a D, by the way.
Let's go to.
Yeah, to Josh. I mean to Marlon. Okay, Marlon. Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, boy.
You can't read it?
I don't know what this is, but I'll try. Should I know what this is?
Yes. You don't know what this is? Okay, here you go. You'll get it in a second. Ladies and gentlemen.
God, what a mess.
Marlon Brando as Perry Mason.
Della.
I don't know what I'm saying.
Oh, it's
Perry Mason's
secretary,
secretary's name was Della.
And Marlon
1959.
Brando.
Marlon
Stella.
Brando is famous for saying,
I know Stella. I knew Stella, but Della, I didn't. I was not aware that.
No one does.
Why would I know
God.
that Perry Mason's secretary was named
wouldn't.
Della?
You wouldn't,
Yeah.
because in Tom's mind, everything he's aware of, everyone's aware of it. I don't know
I'm
why.
sorry I couldn't.
I have no idea why he thinks that, but he does.
Della. Now, they're remaking Perry Mason
Yeah?
with one of my favorite actors, the guy from The Americans.
Yeah, should be cool.
Do you know his name?
I don't know how you pronounce
Matthew
it.
One of my
Reese.
favorite actors.
Matthew
No, but I don't know how you pronounce his
Matthew
last name.
Reese.
Is it pronounced Reese? Because it's spelled.
It's like R-H. Yeah.
Wow,
Yes.
it all ties
RH,
together.
yes.
Della Reese.
Obviously, that's the tie-in. Except Della Reese spells it R-E-E-S-E.
Once
Now,
upon a time.
Chick, a big Della Reese fan.
Are you really?
No. I
Don't
used
you
to
remember-
make fun of her because she went.
boy.
You did a Della Reese hunk for years.
No, she went to the Clippers games for whatever reason.
Okay.
She'd be in the front row for the Lakers had Jack, and the Clippers had Della Reese, and there was a lady in the Bahamas who looked just like Della Reese.
I'll never forget an In Living Color sketch called Della Reese's Pieces. And they were just snack foods that she had taken a bite out of.
That's strong.
It's amazing. Love it. Love
That was
everything
good
about
stuff.
it. Remember? And you remember what the Della Reese-looking woman in the Bahamas called me?
What?
Sugar Bush.
Sugar bush.
Because of my gray beard. Remember that?
Yep.
Oh, she was flirting with you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
No, very much so. I might have a child in the Bahamas.
Okay.
Wouldn't that be great?
You got a Bahama mama out there?
I don't know if it great's the word.
Oh, yeah.
I'd love it if some guy.
Oh, me too.
Is Mr. McGee?
Shows up. Mr. McGee man.
yeah.
Mr. McGee man.
You are my father.
What was that? Marlon Brando was my son?
I don't know what that was.
I love it.
No, that was Tony Curtis.
Tony Curtis.
I think that was just ambiguous enough to not be offensive.
That's what I was going for.
Yonder lies the house of my father. The apocryphal story about Tony Curtis.
Tony Curtis.
Oh, Tony Curtis.
Okay.
Jack Lemmon and I once hot tubbed with.
It's the worst wig I've ever seen in my life.
I've got another obscure impression.
Yeah.
Now, maybe you'll know the background on this one, but I doubt it. Chick will know. Do you know that Lou Costello of Abbott and Costello was sued by the IRS?
He was.
Oh, why?
Were you aware of this, Chick?
I didn't know that.
Yes, it is true.
Something about his return, who was on first or something?
No. This isn't a joke.
Oh.
In all truth, Lou Costello of Abbott and Costello was sued by the IRS. And this is my impression of Lou when he got the notice in the mail. Audit. Audit. Hey, audit.
How long have you been sitting on that?
Instead of Abbott.
You're right.
Hey, audit. Say
Hey, audit.
You think more people know who Hey Abbott than they know who Della is?
I don't think anybody
Della
listening
Street.
could describe or understand what we've been doing for the past 10 minutes.
You know, I was at a party once, and Mr. Costello was
here we
there. And
Yeah, really?
He was talking to Mrs. Tyler Moore, and at the same time, Corey, the singer of
Wow. Can I write this stuff down?
Holy hell.
Corey, the singer of the '80s singer, he was
Corey Hart?
Yeah. He was
Sunglasses at night?
Yeah.
he was
that
leaving.
guy.
He was leaving.
He
the
was
party.
leaving the party.
So Mr. Costello and Mrs. Tyler Moore are talking. And I walk in, and Corey is leaving. And so I said, "Hello, Mary, Lou. Goodbye, Hart."
Oh, my God.
That is a fine Ricky Nelson joke. There aren't a lot of
Ricky
them.
Nelson joke.
That was excellent. Hello, Mary. Lou. Goodbye, Art.
That's as dumb a thing as I've ever constructed.
Oh, no, that was just brilliant. That made me really happy. And this should be the great Gabriel Iglesias. Fluffy, can you hear me?
Yes, good morning.
How are you, sir?
There he is.
Wow, when did I earn the title great? That's awesome.
Oh,
You are great.
I was talking to a friend of mine last time we had you on the air, and when I told her that you were on the air, I said, we talked with Gabriel Iglesias this morning, and she went, Fluffy? She lost her mind.
That is, I think it's great that I've gone from that guy that just ate all the snacks in the waiting room to great. This is awesome.
Now, when you were a kid, were you, because Gabriel's a pretty serious name, were you Gabe as a kid? I know you're Gabe on your new show. Were you Gabe as a kid, or you weren't Fluffy then, were you?
I was just Hey as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, get over here. Hey, you hungry? Hey, wash your teeth. Hey, come here. Hey, anytime I heard my mom say my actual name, I knew it was serious. If I heard Gabriel, I knew that it was not going to be pleasant.
Oh, boy. Yeah, no, so were you a Gabe or a Gabby? What was it?
No, actually, believe it or not, I was just my mom would just call me whatever but my name. So she'd have her names in Spanish, like "Tú, mijo, ven pa acá, ¿qué andas haciendo?" It was very much just there was no name. I was the only person in the room, so it was usually directed at me.
I see.
Wow. Was your mom a good cook?
Well, I'm still here, so.
Well, because Gabriel Iglesias sounds like a Supreme Court justice name. It really has a certain gravitas to it.
And my middle name is Jesus, so imagine that one, Gabriel Jesus Iglesias.
Wow.
Love it.
Yeah, for a guy who's only been to Church's Chicken, that's way too biblical.
And they might have a problem having Jesus on the Supreme Court. They might think he'd have a bias. Gabriel Iglesias is our guest. He is known as Fluffy. And you have a bit of something going on in the world of television. I believe it's tomorrow. You're going to be getting the streaming on your Netflix series, Mr. Iglesias. Is that correct?
Yeah, this is our second season of Mr. Iglesias on Netflix. And anybody who can be working nowadays, it's a good thing. So I'm lucky that we were able to tape the television show right before everything happened. And so, it premieres at midnight tonight, West Coast time. Netflix is funny that way. They're like, I guess everybody's awake at that hour waiting to watch TV.
Oh, that there are super fans that are going to be sitting there at midnight just waiting to click on.
Oh,
it.
sure.
You know that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure I can virtually guarantee it. Gabriel Iglesias once again is our guest. And did you ever have any straight jobs? Any like real what we would consider normal jobs as a kid coming up in high school or anything?
I used to sell shoes at the mall. I worked as a telemarketer. I worked in customer service. I sold cell phones back when it was hard to sell cell phones. I used to sell a phone called the Motorola PC550 flip phone.
Oh,
like the original brick phone.
Oh, no kidding.
Like when you talk on the phone, you could feel the cancer growing in your head.
They always
it was one of those. Yeah, you hang up the phone and you're lightheaded. That's how strong those phones were.
Yeah. They always reference, what is it, the movie Wall Street? Is that the one?
Oh, yes.
He's got the giant brick phone.
Yeah.
Wow. Were you ever a school teacher?
Actually, in high school, I took a course called exploratory teaching, and we would go to local elementary schools and teach lesson plans.
Oh.
And I was actually offered a scholarship because apparently I was not a bad teacher. The teacher told me, she says, "Listen, I think you're the only one who has a really good chance of being a teacher." And I says, "Well, how is that? I had a horrible lesson plan." And she goes, "No, I agree, it sucked, but you were able to do one thing the other students weren't able to do." And I said, "Well, what's that?" She says, "You were able to get their attention. If you can get children's attention, you can teach them. You can learn to make better lesson plans."
Yeah.
Next thing I know, I got a full scholarship offered to me in the Long Beach Unified School District. And when I passed on it to pursue a career in comedy, my mom was not happy. Oh, believe me, I heard Gabriel that day.
Yeah. Gabriel. I think that there are a number of very good stand-up comedians, legendary comedians that were teachers. Robert Klein was a school teacher. Dennis Wolfberg was a teacher. I think they have a lot in common. A great teacher.
Al Jackson was a teacher.
Yeah. Yeah, you get in front of kids, and if you can get them to pay attention, I think whoever told you that was exactly right. Now, is portraying a teacher, is that fun for you? Do you get a chance to get in the writer's room and write stuff with everybody?
I'm a comic, and I guess some might call me an actor because of what I do now, but I stay out of the writer's room. I stay in my lane, man. I'm not trying to, there's some guys that want to be involved in anything and everything, and I want to go out there, and my favorite day is show day when we have a live studio audience. That's when I get to, improvise and just make sure that what I'm doing is right. So I stay out of the writer's room because sometimes in the beginning, I didn't trust them. I'm like, this is, I'd get frustrated. I'm like, I would never say that. And then I'd say it, and I'm like, darn it. we had a rule on the set where if it got the laugh, it stayed in the show, and they were usually right. And I'm just like, wow, okay, I got a lot to learn.
Yeah, there's a great line in the movie My Favorite Year where the guy goes, "You don't cut funny."
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
Yeah, if it gets a laugh. We're speaking with the great comedian Gabriel Iglesias. And Gabriel, which of your specials are still floating around out there in the ether?
Well, let's see. Netflix has a couple of them. Let's see. There's a special called One Show Fits All, and there's another one. I'm sorry for what I said when I was hungry. So those two are right now. Those two right now are on Netflix, and the other ones they're floating out there on YouTube somewhere.
Yeah. Now, do you ever dream in Spanish, or are you so used to speaking English at work that it's the only thing in your head?
Anytime I dream in Spanish, I for some reason I'm way better looking.
Oh.
I'm way better looking. I go from a 5 to a 7 when I speak in Spanish or dream in Spanish. Sorry.
Yeah. Do you ever come up with jokes that only work in Spanish?
It's rare because I only do my show in English, but I have been offered opportunities to perform in Spanish, and I do have material that does float in Spanish. But I try not to because, they pay you in pesos, and I'm not down.
Did you ever hear the famous Gallagher Spanish story?
No.
Oh, this is...
We're talking about Watermelon Gallagher, right?
Yes, yes. The Gallagher, the comedian. This is true. If you don't believe me, you can Google it. There's a huge article about it in the LA Times from years ago. He actually was in here with us, and he was saying he had decided to try to do his act, which I happen to be a fan of Gallagher's act. I think it's going to be very funny. A lot of props and stuff. But he decided to have it translated into Spanish. He doesn't speak Spanish, so he learned it phonetically and got on stage and did his show in Spanish, and it did not go well. So just a little lesson for everybody out there. Can you imagine?
Man.
No.
What a weird thing to do.
Mexicans, we're not down when people destroy fruit.
Yeah.
I was not setting you up for that, but we deserved it. Thank you. We're speaking with Gabriel Iglesias. And once again, this evening, I guess, just after midnight, to be technical here, it'll be the Netflix series Mr. Iglesias returning, and it'll be out there streaming. So grab it. Gabriel plays a teacher, which is why I was asking about that, and working at the place you went to school. Have you ever been back to your high school in real life?
Yes, actually I have, and we had the principal of my old high school come out to the tapings of the show, as well as my old school teacher, my speech teacher, who inspired me to want to become, to really get into comedy.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that is great.
So it was nice that the school allowed us to use the colors, the logos, the name for a sizable donation. They were willing to keep that school spirit.
Yeah, and not in pesos.
So is there a Gabriel Iglesias theater now at this high school, or something with your name on it?
I'm not going to lie. I tried. I tried. I said, hey, what's it going to take? And they're like, sorry, Fluffy. There's a very rich white family that owns a golf course that owns that has that theater name. You ain't got a shot. I'm like, you know what? All right.
Now, not to be a jerk about it, but what about the cafeteria?
You know what? I hadn't thought about that. Every room should just be able to put a plaque or something. Yeah, why not? The Gabriel Fluffy Iglesias cafeteria. I think that makes perfect sense.
That might be a great episode of the show.
If nothing else, man, I could put a plaque on a vending machine, something.
That's... You could come back on your show as your twin brother, who's an incredibly successful comedian, who's going to name the school's vending machine after himself. So tell us a little bit about about what's coming up in the season. What's happening?
Well, this is the second season of the show. I've never had a love interest on a show, so they're going to give me a girlfriend this year. Last season I was a recovering alcoholic, and this season I guess they're replacing AA with a girlfriend, and I don't know, for some reason I feel like it's almost the same.
Now, let me ask you this: with this love interest, did you have any part in the casting?
Yes, I did actually, and let me tell you, that's an awesome story because the girl who plays my love interest on the show, her name is Laura Casados. She started off as working on the set as one of the costumers.
Oh.
She's it's crazy. She has a background in theater, and we were in the process of casting the love interest, and she had approached my assistant to see if there was a possibility of auditioning. And you don't do that. It's one of those, like, there's a process of how you go about auditioning for parts. There's casting people, agents, managers, and so it kind of like it caught me off guard. But I didn't want to be that person that's like, no, you can't, and hold her back. So I said, what's it going to hurt to allow her to go in and audition? And there was 150 people who auditioned for the part. Wow. They narrowed it down to 4, and she was one of the 4 people that auditioned for it. And let me tell you right now, the other 3 seasoned actors, and they all killed it. And we said, all right, now let's give this person a chance to come in here and audition. And let me tell you something. The way that she came in and auditioned for the part, it's like, imagine you're a groundskeeper at a baseball stadium, and you ask one of the pitchers that you see out there one day, hey, would you mind if I took a swing at a pitch? And started cranking homers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like the way that she came in, it was like just a truly natural talent. And it was very evident that she was going to be the person that was going to get the part. We played the videos for Netflix, and Netflix agreed. They're like, wow, who is she? Where did she come from? And like, this is the girl that does the wardrobe.
Wow, that is so great.
And what's funny is that
story.
when she's on the show, she's an actress, but when she's not in a scene, she goes back to being a costumer.
Oh,
Huh.
This sounds like another
movie.
sitcom in the making.
That's
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah, well, when you're done with
Yeah,
this one. Gabriel, I'm getting the signal here. Gabriel Iglesias is an excellent stand-up comedian, and once again, Netflix. You can check out some of his specials and his television show, which will begin, am I getting it right, tonight at midnight. Is it Pacific time or Eastern time?
Pacific.
Okay, great. So stay up late. You'll have plenty of time to check it out. Thank you, Gabriel.
best of
I
luck.
really appreciate you guys. And can I just say, before I had sitcoms and big shows, I was just a comic who used to play a little, room in the corner called Crackers. And you guys would still let me come in there and do my thing. So thank you for all the support over the years. And I can't thank you enough because, it's those humble beginnings, man, that make us realize certain things. So just thank you very much.
Oh, thank you so much. And you're very welcome. And thank you so much for your time today. We'll look forward to seeing you again sometime soon when you get back out on the road. That's
Yes.
Gabriel Iglesias.
Watch the entire show live or on demand with the Bob and Tom VIP All Access Pass. Listen live with the Bob and Tom app and make sure to visit bobandtomstore.com. Tune in next time for more Bob and Tom Tonight.